Hello guys, welcome to another grand interesting video on your behavior channel. And in this today's video we are going to learn about part 2 about AMR and charging logic. We have already created part 1 on AMR and charging logic. You can just visit our YouTube channel and you can get our videos to be watched for that. So this video is for understanding how to send the AMR for charging, what are the conditions we need to put in the process flow and related stuffs. So if you see that I have already explained all the details about why is this model, how this model works in part 1. So if you haven't watched that, you can watch that. For just to summarize, the AMR is transferring the parts produced from these processors to this queue where it has been stored. Okay, so the AMR is going to load from here and then it is going to transfer it here and unload at that point. And these operators will only be used only for unloading the parts from this processor onto the AMR, and then this operator will be loading to the AMR and unloading from the AMR. So now let us take one of the conditions, okay, where we have a token and this token arrives here. Now at this state, if you look at, I need this command is to travel to EMI, who is going to travel is token.amr, that is AMR is going to travel to model.find N55, and N55 is the unload location we have selected in here. So the AMR will come here, okay, and he is going to unload the parts there. So the moment he's going to come that, we have a custom code which is going to set our idle discharge of AMR. So the idle discharge he is going to start. Okay, now once the run subflow is done, okay, and the another subflow we have selected here for 2 pads. Similarly we did it at the top. This is that another subflow, okay, where we are going to load the part using the operator from the AMR, and then we're going to unload that part from the operator, okay, to this buffer. Okay, and that part is going to be the operator's first subnode, and while loading we are going to use AMR's node, that is subnode 1. That can also be the another code can be used. Now okay, the AMR should come here and it is going to come in here, get it parked, and then the moment it is getting there, so the idle discharge rate will start calculating. Then the operator will go there, unload the stuffs, right? In this whole process flow we understand, okay, with the code how we can start the idle discharge rate, the travel discharge rate. Okay, so this rates will basically help us keep a track of consumption of batteries. Okay, now basically what will happen once the subflow is completed, then the operator is going to find the destination thing, and then what we are doing is we are starting our travel discharge rate onto the AMR, and the code is this. If you want to look at token.amr.labels, which is should be battery as tracked variable.rate, which is token.amr travel discharge. Now this is the label available on our AMR, right? We have already entered those AMR details, what we say, the discharge details and all the stuff using this process flow earlier. Now once what happens, the travel discharge rate is started, what we are going to do, we are finding out that our total number of requests we are going to keep a track on, that how many jobs I am assigned for. Okay, so say I am assigned 4, then the token will have the value as 4, and we are going to complete 1 job, so it's 4 minus 1, the remaining request would be 3. Now when we click on this AMR, okay, we will be understanding that the current request with AMR are 2, so it needs to do 2 jobs. Now when we go in the decide section, we are going to keep a track based on request available for AMR. Okay, so what it states is that when AMR is going to have a request greater than 1, we are going to travel to the second connection of the decide, and if we are going to have no AMR task basically, okay, so basically when we are going to have no AMR task, and that is where we are basically going to release the stuffs in there, right? So this is how it goes. So when I am going to have the request greater than or equal to 1, basically I'm going to go to the traveling area, going to get it charged, and if I'm going to have no task, it has to go to the one where I'm going to release this AMR and make that available basically. Okay, now if I just run this slowly, hopefully this AMR will be moving to its travel locations. Basically it gets released and it is ready to acquire new tasks. And okay, this way how it goes, and whenever he is going to have no task, it is going to go to this travel WH. Now when it goes to travel WH, there is where we are going to apply the charging thing to that person. Okay, so if we have no task, we are going to go to the charging. If we have task, we are going to release it right away and it is free to acquire the next task. Okay, now when it is having request 0, okay, or 0, then the AMR is going to come in this area, and once it's going to come at this area, this can be a parking area. There we are assigning the charge rate to the label so that it will start incrementing, and the moment it start incrementing, our charging for the AGV is done based on the label value. So here you can also see the current battery for this AMR, right? And this is how. Now if you see, I am having no request hopefully as of, then the AMR comes in there, and the battery has started increasing at a rate of what we provided, and that is the charge rate. So this is how the model works for AMR loading, charging and transferring. All this comes into the single process flow. We can follow this in order to have the same process done. So the major things which we need to identify is that I will be checking a battery right here. If my battery is less than the prescribed limit, I will be going to the area where it has to be charged. Okay, and when I am not having any task, it has to be charged and it has to be going to the parking location. So this is how is the process flow you can create for your simulation model, and the same would get replicated into your system. So let me know how this model looks for you and how is the model's logic for you. Did you understand the concepts? Let us know in the comment section. If you haven't liked our videos, please do like our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel beawarechannel.com, and do not forget to visit our website beawarechannel for premium training content. So that's all for today. Let us meet in another grand interesting video on beawarechannel. Till then, stay tuned for more videos.